Hello, Wendy here. Today I'd like to kind of touch on the Epstein thing that's going around. Now, I have my own feelings on it. I don't think he committed suicide. I think he kept very intricate files that he put in a very obscure place with some obscure people that nobody knew about. And these files came out after his death. Let's review this. Again, this is my opinion. My understanding is that Epstein was arrested during Trump's first administration. He was put into a cell that had cameras on him and at least 2 guards. My understanding was he was under suicide watch because now my understanding of working with some prison guards, correctional facility guards, jail guards, is there's always eyes on the prisoner, especially if they're under suicide watch. Well, we were told all the cameras failed. We were told that the guards were either, I don't remember if they were going to the bathroom or they fell asleep. But they were released from wrongdoing. Well, if I fall asleep on a job, I get fired. I get canned. Especially if it results in someone getting severely injured. I'm paraphrasing because I've never worked in a jail situation, but I'm sure that if somebody's on a suicide watch or they're a high-profile prisoner, they're going to be watched. But all the cameras failed and the 2 guards were indisposed. But they were found innocent. Flash forward to Joe Biden's presidency, and people saying Joe Biden was sitting on these files for the longest time. Joe Biden was doing what presidents do. Joe Biden was running the country and doing other things. He was not in charge of the DOJ, and he made it clear he was not going to be in charge of the DOJ. I did not agree with Joe Biden appointing Garland. I think because Garland was chosen by Obama to be put in to SCOTUS, I think this was a way of offering up a consolation prize, if you will. We know Garland slow-walked everything. He waited 2 years before appointing Jack Smith. Fairly certain if Jack Smith was appointed to the DOJ, Donald Trump would not be in power right now. He'd be in prison. That I have no doubt. But here we are. Trump was going to declassify everything, he said. And Pam Bondi on Fox News says, we have Jeffrey Epstein's client list, and it's on my desk for review. And as soon as we can, we will put it out there because it's a lot of really bad stuff. Do you not think, and I'm talking to you MAGA out there, do you not think if Joe Biden was on that client list, it would not have been released? Do you not believe if there was any Democrats on there, that list would not be released? We had a Democrat, Al Franken, who made some sexually harassing comments, I guess, or jokes, or whatever. And he resigned. He admitted that he had made these comments, and he resigned. We had a recent Mendoza. I think that was Melendez, or I don't know. Some congressperson or senator who was arrested and charged and went through court and found guilty. I agree with that. I think it's normal to want the criminals out of government. I think that MAGA and Democrats have that same desire, along with the other third party. Well, MAGA is actually the third party, but you took over the GOP, which used to have a relatively normal view on how America should be run. And it certainly did not entail running the Constitution into the ground. But I digress. There are lawmakers currently from MAGA GOP being arrested and charged with crimes against children. Not a peep. Not a peep. I want all corruption out of government. I think if our tax dollars are going to support corruption, that's a problem. If it's going to line someone's pockets, that's a problem. And here we are now with these Epstein file things hanging over Donald Trump's head, where others have come up against him and accused him of sexual harassment or assault or worse. A 13-year-old came forward and did a grand jury investigation that was not completed. Her deposition is nauseating, disturbing. As a survivor of sexual assault as a child and into my adulthood, because that's the way we were groomed. Donald Trump, I believe, is guilty. Everything he has said about Democrats has turned around and been proven to be what he has done. And he said the Democrats were destroying the Epstein files. But Pam Bondi's got tons of them. And I mean, we're more than 6 months into his presidency, and yeah, we got nothing. They're still sitting on it. And now Pam Bondi comes out and says there is no client list, after several months ago saying there is a client list and it's on her desk for review. Again, I think that MAGA and Democrats all want that list out there. I'd like to know somebody was making a fool of me. I'd like to know somebody I elected into government is guilty of something, because I want their asses out and I want them tried. Crimes against children should not have any kind of a limited time. We've heard the stories of Virginia Giuffre, who unalived herself. All ties back to Donald Trump. 15 years they were friends. I listened to what Epstein was saying on those audio tapes, and I was disgusted. And you should be too. And you should be too. Well, again, your choice to believe what you want to. But I think on this point, MAGA and the rest of us can agree. We want the client list made spectacularly public. Anyone who was on that plane for purposes of hurting any child should be outed. End of story. Listen, you have the day you voted for. I know I will.